Welcome back to Atomic Era Motors, and today I'm bringing you something a little bit different. Behold, I bought a tractor. This is about a 1952 Ford 8N. And we know that it is an 8N because it has got the 8-lug rear wheels, a 4-speed, and the side mount distributor. Some of you guys may know, if you've been here for a very long time, my first video I posted, I showed a 9N that I used to have. I think I used it to, I got a truck stuck and tried to use it to pull it out when I was going to get the old 63 C10. But don't have that anymore. I ended up selling it. And I needed another tractor. I'm constantly reminded by the fact that I need a tractor because there are junk cars everywhere here. And a few of them run, but most of them don't. So having a way to drag them around the yard in some sort of organization would be nice. I do have different vehicles that I could use that for. However, a tractor is far more fun. Plus there's other things around here I would like to use a tractor for. Part of why I wanted this tractor is because it's getting kind of hard to find these in original condition. Typically they've been restored and there's, you know, people have done all kinds of stuff to them over the years. This one's never really been touched. It does also have the kind of rare drawbar that hooks to the 3-point for these Fords. Pretty handy for me. My other one I did not have a drawbar on it. This tractor has never been converted from 6-volt over to 12, which I'm probably going to end up doing that. It still has, actually still has the little toolbox under the hood. It still has all of its stickers everywhere. Is there any more? Actually still has the little rubber plug in the bottom of the seat. And somebody added this extra side toolbox, which I'll leave alone. I bought this tractor from the second owner. So the guy that I got it from actually got it from its original owner, which I've got the manual I'll dig out and show you later, that came with this tractor. So the guy that I bought it from is a fella named Dean. Dean has been buying and selling and restoring antique tractors, mainly Fords, since 1957. He built his shop, which is just about 15 miles north of me, in 1957 and has been doing it ever since. Fella's 91 years old. Incredible guy. I love to just go there and visit with him. Wonderful guy to talk to. And sometimes, you guys probably have experienced this, you buy something not necessarily because of what it is, but because of who you're buying it from and the story tied to it. And that's really the case with this tractor. Yes, I need something bigger than an 8N, probably a Farmall H, something like that, or you know, maybe even a John Deere A. But really just wanted a reason to go hang out with Dean and talk to him. So I also ended up buying a tractor. That's why I have it. But wonderful guy. Dean did have this tractor running a few years ago. Now the problem he had with it was there was no compression on cylinder number 1. As you can see, he's pulled number 1 plug wire off. The reason there's no compression on cylinder 1, he said, is because he tore it down and it had either a bad valve. I think one of the valves was bad on cylinder 1 and he stuck another valve in it and did not adjust the adjuster on top of the tappet. So it's holding it open constantly and we're just not able to get any compression. I think my plan of attack is going to just be, rather than trying to get it started as is, I think I'm just going to go ahead and pull it apart, pull the sheet metal off, pull the head, pull the manifolds, and get a look at what that valve's doing. Now I did order a gasket kit for it, which I don't know if you can really tell, but it came pre-bent. They did an awesome job with that. Hopefully I can just reuse the old head gasket that's in it, which is probably the original, probably a copper Felpro gasket, or well, a copper Ford gasket maybe. Either way, probably better than this. I will say I'm probably gonna have to use the manifold gaskets that came in this kit though. Anyway, let me get you guys set up. Let's start tearing this down. I mean, I need to pull the tank and clean it and drain it anyway. So I'm not just gonna try to get this thing started as is. It would run, but probably only on 3 cylinders. The first thing I ought to do is drain the antifreeze. Okay. There it comes. Just like that. Well, I actually don't even need to pull that from the fuel bowl up there. I can just leave that just like it is. Now, looks like a couple 9/16 bolts already loose for me. Grab this one off the other side. It's also a requirement that you use all Montgomery Ward's tools when you're working on this old stuff. It does not feel very loose now. I would think. Am I doing this wrong? Is that not how you remove the hood? Next thing, I'm going to remove this grill if I can. Should just be pull down on these little tabs, and it should just kind of hinge toward me. Maybe. Come on. One side's out. Come on. There. We're caught on the top of the hood. Just need a pry bar or a screwdriver. Same thing. So then that hinges forward. What did I just gain by doing that? Doesn't look like anything. So, okay. I'm going to pull these 2 front corner bolts, which appear to be an 11/16. Okay. Need to pull this bumper off. Well, these 2 bolts are 1 1/16. This one's already loose. So he must have had this off. Oh, well, that one's not loose at all. I got a better idea. If you're gonna be that way, whoa, get off of there. Come on. There. Now I can get to those 2 front bolts. That'll happen. It's so nice out. My hands are numb right now. And it was like, I don't know, almost 70 degrees yesterday. It was beautiful. It's gonna be rainy and miserable for like the next week here. Really makes me wish that I was not here right now. That's gonna have to go. The headlights are not wired, so that's not a problem. Let me remove this so that that does not get broken. If that will even come off there, which it may not. Okay. it'll probably be just fine. Okay, now I think, yes. Aha. Oh. Perfect. I'll just put this over here. Everything is incredibly easy to get to. I love these flatheads. Let me get that out of my way. Get the manifold clamp loose. Then I'll start pulling the manifolds off. Boy, it is just pouring out there. Anyway, start pulling this exhaust clamp off. Just 1/2" bolts. You can see I got the best wrench I own for the job. Already loose. There we go. Got some red RTV on that. That's fine. Next I'll pull the manifolds. I need to disconnect the choke linkage and the throttle linkage, which should be just a matter of maybe. Should just pop off there. Oh, I see how it works. You pull this shaft and then it releases a little spring that's on the ball and then it just pops off. I'm assuming this one's the same way. For the throttle. Yes, same way. And it just pops right off and falls out of the way. Then there's 4 nuts holding the manifolds on. 11/16. Just drop them on the floor everywhere so you lose them. Oh, they're brass. And these should just pull right off, maybe? Yes, just like that. Super simple. Now we can actually see the valves. I mean, some carbon, you know, nothing major. It's gonna be, it's one of those two. That's the problem. I don't know. Maybe I'll pull the tappet covers off and then I can actually look in there and see. Or at least this front one. Just a 1/2" nut. Yeah, you can see in there. I'm guessing it's that one up front that was the problem. You can see those lifters are adjustable. Huh, I don't know. I guess that doesn't really tell me much, but I needed to do that anyway, so because if I end up pulling at least one or both of those valves out, cylinder 1, I needed to have this cover off to be able to do that. So now I think move on to pulling the head. Right off the bat, since I'm right here and I've got the wrench in my hand, I'm going to pull this bolt out that holds the plug wire cluster to the head. Just disconnect all the plug wires, kind of fold that back out of the way, and that also is part of the coil bracket, and there's another bolt on this side that holds the coil bracket to the head. I'm going to be changing that coil anyway, so I'll just stick the bolts back in the holes, make it less likely for me to lose them. Then it looks like upper rad hose, and then these two what appear to be 9/16 bolts on the oil filter housing, and then I can pull the head bolts and pull the head. slide that, yes, just get that right out of the way. And then there's these two 9/16 bolts on the oil filter housing. This is hard when you can't feel your fingers. Just kind of get that out of the way. I don't want to bend that oil line too much, so just leave that there. I'll set the bolts in the battery tray so I can knock them off and lose them. And head bolts look like they are probably 11/16. Alright, that was easy. I thought some of these 8-ins had head studs, not head bolts. I don't know. I thought they were all head studs. Alright, will you come off easily? Oh yeah, like nothing. Well, that's a new gasket. Let me show you guys what I'm seeing here. Let me pull this gasket off carefully. Oh, not saving that gasket. Damn it. It looks great. I mean, the cylinder walls, everything looks fine. Well, okay, I take that back. There is a pretty good ring ridge. We don't care about that. But other than being a little dry, I think this thing's been overhauled at some point in its life. I don't think those are factory pistons. Does it say? This looks like it has got not a lot of hours on it, actually. I don't know. Could be all wet, though. So that valve right there appears to be, oh, there we go. I think it is being held open a little bit. I think the best approach is going to be pull those valves, and I can regrind the seats and lap them in. Let me grab a special tool. Y'all ever seen one of these? This is a flathead valve spring compressor. So you shove it in between the block and the valve, the bottom of the valve, you know. Grab the spring retainer and the spring, squeeze it, and the retainer just falls right out. You can pull the valve. Something like this. I guess it is better if the valve is down, though. Let me see if I can grab that front one. Like that, see? Now, the valve should slide down through. Okay, this is really difficult to do one-handed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I had to reshape my valve spring compressor in the vise and flatten the jaws out some. Basically, with the valves closed, squeeze it, and then see the valve spring retainers just fell out there. So I need to grab those, and then the spring will shoot down, and then I can pull the valve right out. Try to not drop the retainers into one of the little drain holes going into the block. Okay, Then you just let the spring expand. Now I ought to be able to pull that valve up and out of the block. Probably gonna have to rotate the motor. Let me pull that front one out the exact same way while they're both down, and then I can rotate it and grab them when they come up. So I was struggling on this exhaust valve because it's different, and I guess the way that you pull these, or the easiest, I don't know, whatever, but there's this horseshoe retainer along the top of actually all the valves, and if you pull that, the whole assembly will just come out through the top. So interesting. So this has got, I guess, what's called a rotating, or it's a rotating valve retainer, which is what's sitting there in the block still is on the base of this valve, and it rotates. But yeah, I need to get this apart because this will technically need to be in the block for what I'm about to do. This valve lifted up so I can just pull it right out of the block. I'm gonna bet you that this is probably the one he replaced. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was this one. This one does not look like it was making any sort of a seal. That one looks like it was, but neither one are great. This will show you better what I was saying though. See, this horseshoe keeper slides in there, and then you can just pop this whole thing out of the block. I need to disassemble this, so I've got to compress this spring and pull these keepers off the bottom, which are the same style as these that were on the other valve. And see, it's got this rotator thing on the bottom. It's interesting. I wonder why they bothered to do that on the exhaust valves. Why not? I don't know. Whatever, I guess. They felt it necessary, but I need this off because I need to slide that back into the block. There, slid that down in the block. Now let me grab another special tool that I have. Come over here to the tools section / parts room. Aha! There you are. This is a very old valve seat grinder. I believe all I've got, okay, no, I do have a 30-degree angle. I'm just going to cut these at what they were from factory, which was 45, which is going to be this right here. So you want to start out with a more coarse cup, and then end up with a fine cup like this one, and then of course we'll lap them in. But the way it works is you've got this tool. This fits in a drill, slides over, and then you choose a reamer, or not a reamer, but one of these. It's like a reamer, I guess, but one of these that fits the valve guide the best, and then slides inside of there, and then you spin it with a drill and cut that seat. Pretty neat. I think it's, I don't know, it's really old. This is probably over 100 years old. I guess it's not quite 100 years old, but it does say Ford, Ford Model A, Ford V8. Tells you which one of these to use. That's pretty cool. Okay, so you can see I got one of those guides that fits in there well. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on it. Maybe put a little bit of oil on the sealing surface as well. Just like that. Then let me show you how you use this. And this will slide just like that. And I just went for a socket in the impact. But all we're going to do is this number for a while. Oh yeah, that's actually probably good right there. See how much better that seat looks? Let me hit the other one. Oh, we're gonna need a larger one of these. Oh no, it's just in the... Get that out of there. Slide that in like that. Let this guy on here. Get a little oil. Yeah, that cleaned up really nice. Now I'm going to hit it with the fine cup, and I'm going to call that good. Not bad, if I do say so myself. Those should seal just fine. Now, let me lap the valves in. That'll just help to ensure that the surface on the valve mates to the seat just like it's supposed to. So, scratch that. I was gonna lap the valves in, but I think I remember my valve lapping tool getting destroyed a few years ago. And I can't find it, so I need to go get one of those. But it is very cold and rainy and horrible, and I don't really want to do it right now, so I think that's going to be it for tonight. I will see you tomorrow. It is now time to overindulge in those and those. Been a few days since I was working on the tractor. Weather's actually a little bit better now. It has been raining a lot, but it's not as cold. My hands are no longer numb being out here in the shop, so that's cool. I acquired new valve lappers so I can finish the job on the tractor. As far as lapping valves goes, typically whenever you walk into your local auto parts store and you need lapping compound, all you get is that one, you can only find that one jar of Permatex, and it's just the fine stuff. I like this stuff, which is coarse and fine. So you start out with the coarse and then work your way to the fine. Try asking your local auto parts store people about this. You'll get a lot of blank stares. Pretty hard to find this stuff. I ended up having to buy it online somewhere. The way I like to do it, I need some water. Hold on. I'm gonna start with the coarse. Pop this can open. And I need to start with this valve. So, just take a little bit, put it on the face of the valve. A little bit all the way around, if you can. And you want to stay away, try to avoid getting any of it down on the stem. Don't do that. Something like that. Then it's a good idea to put a little bit of lube or oil or something down the valve guide, just to make it easier. And then we want to drop our valve in, like that. Take the suction cup, good idea to wet it down some, and put a little bit of water in the seat. So now I'm just gonna do this for, it's gonna take probably a little while. I'm gonna do this until I can see all the way around the face of the valve that it is sealing. I thought I had this thing sealing, but it is not. Something is wrong with this valve, and actually this is an original Ford valve. All the rest of those have been replaced, so this engine actually has been overhauled, I assume. It still has Ford stamped on the top, but I cannot get it to seal There's one spot, I don't know if it's gotten really, really hot and warped or something, but it will not seal in one area. I did something you really shouldn't do, and take some sandpaper and kind of match this 45 and tried taking off as much as I could. But it was kind of just a last ditch effort, you know. This valve it's done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing, lap in the intake valve, see if I can get it right, and then I can show you what a good sealing surface is supposed to look like. But I'm just gonna have to find another new valve or order one. Didn't really want to do that, but onto the intake valve. I lapped in this intake valve with coarse and then fine, and as you can see, that looks beautiful. So does the seat. I'm going to go ahead and throw that valve back in. I need to look up what the tolerance or the clearance is between that and the lifter. I found my better valve spring compressor. Well, maybe better. Go in there. Yes. I should be able to get the keepers back on that. Can't get my fingers in there, so a little bit of grease on the end of a screwdriver to hold on to that keeper. Just like that. And that took a couple tries and 2 hands, but it is back together. Using grease on the end of a screwdriver works very well when you've got big fingers and you need to get little things into small places. The valve lash on this should be, I believe, 12 to 14 between that lifter and the bottom of that valve, and I will show you with the feeler gauge that that valve is pretty much right up against that lifter. I couldn't even get an 8/1000th feeler gauge in between there. And you'll notice they are adjustable, right? You know, you can get a wrench on there, 7/16, no big deal. Oh, well, it's not tight up against it, but it does need, it is too tight. I couldn't get an 8/1000 feeler gauge in there, so I need to turn that nut in. And there is a special tool that you can use to get in those holes on top of the lifter, but they're not very good. I was told not to even bother buying one. Let me show you a trick. I know this is going to seem very scary, but just bear with me. It requires an 1/8 inch drill bit. Okay, now you got to be kind of judicious when you do that. Alright, and yes, I'm going to clean up the metal shavings. I'll vacuum them out and change the oil on this for sure. You know, it'll be fine. I'm going to insert the drill bit. I've made it through the casting. I'm touching the lifter now. Try to do this one-handed. I'm going to turn the nut on the top, the adjustment nut. Oh, well, you'll notice that I can't. Right? You see that? Catches the drill bit. That's what I want. So now, good. Good and tight. There it went. a little bit. Let me get the feeler gauge. A little bit more. There we go. Fits snug with just a little bit of resistance. That's what we want. Now the reason that that works is this. See, there's no valve in this front one, so I can show you what the tappet looks like. Pull that up. See, it's got those grooves in it. So that's what I did. I drilled through the casting and then caught one of those grooves and was able to break that nut loose. And before you freak out, that is the method that the 91-year-old gentleman told me to use that sold me the tractor, that has been restoring these tractors longer than you and me have both been alive. So I'm gonna go with what he says to do, and that's what I did. So that solves the problem there on the intake valve. I need to get an exhaust valve, but there's other things I can be doing in the meantime. I need to rewire this whole tractor. Probably not a bad idea to go ahead and knock that out. I'm back. So it's been a week almost, 5 days, something like that. Doesn't matter. I've been gone a little while. Had some stuff coming up. I did actually have to run to New Mexico for a very important reason. At least one of you watching will probably know why. Anyway, while I was gone, I got a package. Oh yeah, I didn't actually do anything to the wiring. I know I mentioned a few days ago I was gonna wire it, but didn't get there. So I got an alternator bracket from Steiner and a brand new valve. My goal for today is to get this valve in, check the lash on the rest of the valves, and get the motor back together. Hopefully have her running and wrapped up tomorrow. Okay. Fits in the guide just fine. Give this thing a quick lap. Make sure it's got a good pattern. We'll do this the right way, kinda. I'm just gonna use the fine lapping compound. There's no reason to use the coarse. We're not machining here. We're just test fitting is all we're doing. Yeah, that other valve was just too bad. I think it was a two-piece valve too. I don't think these other ones are. It's been overhauled. This is not a two-piece valve. I don't know. I know like in Model Ts, Model As, they had two-piece valves from the factory. I don't know about these tractors, but that one I had, wherever it is now, looked like a two-piece valve to me. But I could be wrong. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but the pattern is, right in the middle of the valve, which is what you want, and it appears to be sealing all the way around. That is perfect. Well, I don't know about perfect, but that's good enough for me. Slam it back in this tractor. Oh, well, let me clean all the lapping compound out of the block and then slam it back in this tractor. Okay, the valve is in there and together, and just adjusted that tappet a little bit. Lash looks good. Yeah, that was pretty easy. I like how these exhaust valves the valve and the guide all comes out together, and then the trick is slide it in the block as an assembly, and then you take something with a bend on it, or like this pick or a bent screwdriver, and pry down on the guide through the exhaust port, and then you can get the little horseshoe keeper up in the top. It's pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and check the lash on the rest of them, and then throw the other cover back on, yeah, then we will start cleaning up and reassembling. Pretty straightforward stuff. I don't think you need to watch me lash every single valve. I think you guys get the idea. Valve lash is all set and good on them. Now, to clean up some of that excess gasket material and dirt and lapping compound and whatever else is all over there. There is my ginormous Montgomery Ward's buffer / grinder / gasket remover. Let's get that baby cleaned up. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is better than it needs to be. Also hit the head and cleaned it up some. The ceiling surface is actually shiny now. And yeah, I know, I'm a horrible person. I didn't get this little teeny tiny bit of carbon out of the cylinders. It's a tractor that's like almost 80 years old. It will probably carbon up as soon as it starts again, because I am going to bet it probably smokes just a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with smoking. I smoke. That brings me to this wonderful head gasket that I was trying to not think about. That was clearly folded in shipping. Excellent. But I might have a solution that will at least help me sleep better at night about putting this on. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's terrible. We just can't have nice things, I swear. It's ridiculous. How hard is it when you, as a manufacturer, I bought this from a manufacturer, how hard is it for you to put that in the correct size box instead of just cramming it in a box where you've got to do that? It's pathetic. My solution is copper coat. Just give it a nice healthy coat on each side and it'll probably seal. I mean, this isn't high compression or anything, but it just kind of pisses me off. You know, you spend good money on these parts. They're not cheap. A head gasket for this tractor is like $40, which that's about $35 more than it should cost. So, I don't know. Slap this baby down. Sure. Insert the head like that. What did I do with the head bolts? Get them all started by hand, and I will just gently run them in with the impact, and then I will torque them to spec. So, according to the original manual, cylinder head. Tighten all cylinder head cap screws to approximately 70 pound-feet, starting from the centrally located nut and working towards the outer row. Alrighty, let me grab the torque wrench. Now I know you can lose a little bit of torque when you use an extension in a socket. So to make up for that, I'm actually going to torque these to like 71, maybe 72. It'll be fine. Oh, well, there's one I missed. Ah. Before I hang the manifolds back on it, figured right now would be a good time to go ahead and pull this carb off. Give it a quick once over. Make sure everything's kosher in there. I can give her a quick bath in the ultrasonic if I need to. Pretty straightforward. Looks like there's 4 screws, and then the bowl comes off the body. I almost wouldn't be surprised if Dean didn't already go through this. Could have done the right thing and ordered a carburetor kit. But, you know, it's surprising. A carburetor kit for this Marvel Schebler carburetor is actually like the same price, if not more expensive, than buying a cheap Chinese knockoff one of these. I think that's probably what everybody does. But I really want to save the original carburetor. So I would buy a kit before I would buy one of those Chinese ones. Try to not destroy the gasket. Smells like old fuel. The needle is stuck. Oh yeah, it's pretty gummed up. There's actually some like varnish or gum on the bottom of the needle, and on the bottom of the needle, and it's actually sticking to the float when I do that. Let me carefully remove the float so I can get this gasket off here. I don't want to destroy that gasket. Oh yeah, that needle's big time stuck. That wouldn't have ran. Needle has been replaced. It's not an original. It's got a rubber tip on it. I don't like those. Yeah, there's some dirt in there. Let me pull this, I guess, screw out, this jet out. Got that. Take this one out too. Incredibly simple and incredibly basic carburetor. There's some sludge and nasty stuff in there and old fuel. Give her a bath. This is great. I mean, the simpler the better. I love this. Simple, easy to work on. Like, simplicity is the name of the game around here. That is what I like. I like simple, I like mechanical, I like things that just make sense. Last time I used this, you guys gave me some really good suggestions on different products I could use in here. Today I'm just using Mean Green because that's all I have. I do like Purple Power though. I've used that. Some people use vinegar. I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff people use in these. Everybody's got their favorite, but I think my favorite is probably Purple Power. I bought this stuff just to try it. It works, but not as well as Purple Power, I don't think. Pull the basket out, put the carburetor in. I need a smaller basket, actually, for all the little pieces, but whatever. I will just set them in the body of the carb. Is there anything else I should clean? Do I have anything around here that's dirty? Yes, but oh well. Also a great way to test your flow. It is floating. Do we have any bubbles? We got this baby heating up. It takes a long time for this to get good and hot. You want it to be like boiling to really, really clean, but it'll take it probably an hour or two to get to that. So I'm gonna cycle it. That sometimes helps heat it up quicker. After having an ultrasonic cleaner, I will never go back to cleaning carburetors with one of those buckets of solvent and a little net for the parts. No. I think I spent $100 on that ultrasonic cleaner. Awesome. Won't ever go back. Got the manifold all cleaned up, the sealing surfaces. Throw this bad boy back on. It's only 4 studs. And don't forget to hook up the exhaust. See, it fits up there like that. And this clamp just clamps the exhaust to that flange on the manifold. What? Is that a new coil? And a new solenoid? A 12-volt solenoid and coil, perhaps? Instead of chancing that the generator and voltage regulator are good, I'm just converting it to 12 volts. Sorry, I know, I'm a horrible person. Because I have got a brand new single wire alternator that I've been itching to put on something because I spent a lot of money for it. And I haven't had anything to put it on, and I know that the generator and voltage regulator on this are not going to work, and it's expensive to replace both of those things. And for way less money, I can just convert it to 12 volts. So it's fine. Normally, it depends on the vehicle. I'm not a huge proponent of converting everything to 12 volts. It's like some people will get a perfectly good car like this DeSoto, and the first thing they'll do is, oh, I'm going to convert it to 12 volts. Don't do that. It runs just fine on 6 volts. Like, if it's a good running car, if it runs and works like it's supposed to, leave it alone. No reason to convert it. A good running vehicle that is 6 volt, more than likely, unless you want to put a giant sound system in it or something, you don't need 12 volts. It's fine. But this tractor, it might run great, it might not. So either way, I'll be able to crank on it a lot longer with 12 volts than with 6 volts. But anyway, I'm going to pull the old generator off, which appears to be just this one Allen bolt, I guess, and a strap running across the top. That's kind of an odd setup, but simple. Just bend that strap out of the way, I guess, and will this come off? Or am I missing something? Feels like I'm missing something. Definitely missing something. Oh, that's nifty. It sits on a little stud that holds it in place. But yeah, pretty simple. Pull that off. Now I need to remove this generator bracket assembly, which looks like 2 very dirty bolts on the block. And I think that will get this out of my way. Now let's go see how the new bracket mounts up. Okay, none of these pieces on this bracket are even remotely close to bolting to that block. We're going to have to use some critical thinking as well as some common sense. We cannot use instructions. Okay, I figured it out. We need you. Come back. So, ran into a slight issue with this setup here. I got this correct. The actual bracket that holds the alternator. Now, the adjuster bracket. I got this one in the kit and this one. There's no way to make that work at all with either one. My understanding is I know some of these tractors, if they had a front mounted distributor, the generator was on the right hand side. I'm assuming that maybe I am a dumbass and I bought the wrong kit, because I don't see how, I could make it work like that, kinda, almost, sorta, but then there's absolutely no adjustment to the alternator. However, being that I am a hoarder, this alternator bracket, I think, maybe alternator bracket, I don't know, looks suspiciously like it will work on here with some slight modifications. As things tend to do, this seems to have escalated some. I have heated it and bent it, and now I have actually had to extend the bracket some using part of the bracket I was given in the kit. I've got it clamped together right now so I can get some tacks on it, then pull it back off and weld it up solid. This just became full-on fabrication. Oh yeah, beautiful. Gotta love flux core. There we go. I'm gonna call that done. That's not even that bad looking. Just like that, it is all mounted. The belt alignment's not even like off enough for me to care. Perfect. That took way longer than I thought, just to mount an alternator. However, I did save like $100, kinda, technically, because I didn't buy the alternator that was made to go with the kit that I bought. I don't know, unless I just bought the wrong kit, but also this alternator wasn't made to fit with this, so I don't know. Either way, saved a little bit of money, kinda, by using something else I spent a large amount of money on that I could have used on something else, but had on the shelf. So that's gonna do it for tonight. I am tired, and it is time to go drink beer. It's the next day. Decided to go ahead and throw this carburetor back together. Let it cycle a few times in the ultrasonic, and it came out really pretty damn good. As good as it needs to be, if not better. But very simple, very good. I did notice something though. That, what is that? That's the throttle linkage. That's been broken before and brazed back together. Didn't notice that before. But managed to save the gasket, everything's fine. Just gonna slam it back together. All it is the float, 4 screws. That'll be ready to then throw back on the tractor. I also took the liberty of emptying the bad fuel out of the fuel tank. It was like orange, just nasty varnished fuel. And I got some fresh that we can put in there when the time comes. But you get this back together, back on the tractor, then it's time for wiring. Carburetor's installed, throttle's hooked up, everything seems to function just like it's supposed to. I need to work on the governor, which then pulls the throttle. I started on the wiring already. I removed the old voltage regulator. I also ran a power source over to the coil and then to the distributor. So this is where I'm at. So yeah, new solenoid, new wires running to it. I saved the original key switch, and so one side of it gets power all the time off the solenoid, and then the other one runs to the coil. Oh, I tried to use the original starter switch, this right here. Ran new wires to it and everything. It's no good. So I need to run back to the auto parts store. I did throw a battery in it just to see if it would turn over or anything, and no, that switch is no good. So I'm going to go buy a new switch. I really wanted to wire in headlights today too, but I'm really running out of time. The weather's about to get terrible, and the bulbs will not be here until tomorrow. So let me just try to get this thing back together and functioning and out of the shop, because it's going to be like 15 degrees tomorrow. And there's other stuff I would rather have in here, and there's other things I also need to be working on besides this tractor too, if the weather's really going to turn bad. So let me run to town, get some stuff. I'll be right back. Should be running pretty soon though. I'm back from the auto parts store. I grabbed a new ground cable too, because the old one was garbage. I've got that mounted. I also grabbed a new headlight switch, which fits right in the old location, and I know I don't have lights, but I'm going to go ahead and run power to it, so then once I do have lights, it's just a matter of running one wire off the switch and up to the lights. Easy. Grabbed a new sealed starter switch. Of course, you can't just go to a regular store and buy one of these for one of these tractors. It's kind of an odd switch, actually, but Got one of these guys. I'm actually gonna just put it right there on the dash. I know, not correct. Probably not gonna win any shows with this. At least not any originality points, but I don't care. Just needs to function at this point. Also grabbed arguably the most important thing of all. Yes, I am going to put a cigarette lighter right there. Almost. Perfect for the starter. You can pretty much see what I've done here. I've run one side, so on the starter switch, I've tied it into the wire I ran earlier, which ties into this harness, which goes to the starter lug on the solenoid. And then I've got the other wire running from that switch, which I'm going to tape into this harness here, which I will tie into that side where the battery cable goes on the solenoid. Also, the power for the cigarette lighter will run along with that here too, and then this is the wire that will run power to the headlight switch, and it will be tied in as well. So now I've just got to run them along this harness, which I'm routing under the battery tray, and I will tape them together and attach them to that positive lug on the solenoid. So yeah, really basic, simple stuff. Nothing crazy going on here. And there it is. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's a tractor. Let me throw the battery in here. And let's see if it works. Yes. Oh, it's in gear. That sounds weird, but it works. Does the cigarette lighter work? Oh. Hey, perfect. Boy, that sucker got hot. It's smoking. All right. Guess now I'm going to throw the hood on and fuel. Oh, and water. I need to put water in it. This is not light. Something like that. Aha! That was easy. Now I just got to attach it. Starting to look like a tractor again. I did notice there's some slight clearance issues between the hood and the new and improved alternator bracket, but it's not gonna hurt anything. If anything, it'll add a little bit more structure to that bracket. I'm not willing to notch this hood for that. It'll be fine. It's not really rubbing that bad. It'll still bolt in just fine. So to put this back on, there's this bolt here, one on the other side, and then these two on the top, which were gone and evidently have not been there for a very long time. I'm not going to worry about putting those back in. Not the end of the world. And there are a bolt here and one there. Bolt the front sides of the hood on like this. Very, very simple. That's probably tight. See if I'm smart enough to put this back in. down. Like that. I'm gonna say like that. And the very last thing is this. Oh yeah, this was interesting. Get on here. Not quite fit. There, that is back on. Just have to precisely slam it on there really hard and it'll spread enough to fit. Next is the fuel line. Sounds like it's snowing out, and there's some landing through the peak on my head. Oh Jesus. Yeah, it's snowing. I was in a t-shirt this morning when I came out here, and now it's freezing and windy and snowing. Cool. Okay, throw some antifreeze in this. This is where we're going to find out if that head gasket's sealed. Don't see any leaks, that means I must have put everything together right. And now I need to go get a gallon of water. Just about exactly 2 gallons. Perfect. Did I forget to... It's fine. Here goes nothing. Some choke, a little throttle. Oh, I gotta turn the key on. What? It's a brand new battery. I loosened up this fuel line and there is no fuel pouring out. So that means we have no fuel at the carb, which then means there's probably, I wonder if that screen is clogged on that fuel bowl. Let me pull that off and look in there and probably destroy the gasket. I got the bowl off. It's been gray RTV'd, and that's not, I think that's RTV, or maybe JB Weld. I don't know, but that's not good. As you can see, that's the inside of the fuel bowl housing. And I don't know what that gray stuff is in there, but everything is covered in it and it's clogged. The fuel line, or the hole for the fuel in the tank, that valve is open right now and there's nothing. Let me see if I can clean that up some or stick something through that. It's been a little while, and as you can see, the valve is out of the bowl and the bowl's off, and yeah, there's nothing coming through there. It's just completely clogged. Let me just go try to hunt one of those up real quick. It's the next day and I ran to town, grabbed ran 30 minutes closer to the city and grabbed a new fuel bowl, and I went ahead and grabbed points and a condenser and stuff. They had it. I don't think I'm gonna need it, but in case I do, I've got it. Now, changing this is going to be fun. Get the old line pulled off. drain pan on the floor just to be sure. Now, I'm going to use the element of speed and accuracy to try to make this happen. Because, as you know, there's 5 gallons of fuel in this. Get the valve out and ready. Make sure it is off. Now, it scares me a little bit because there's JB Weld clearly on the bottom of the tank around where this screws in. So, this could get really messy really quick. It's turning. Might help if you turn it the right way, dumbass. Come on. There we go. All right. That wasn't as bad as I thought it could be. I'll just get her nice and snug. Hopefully it doesn't leak now, because I did not put any thread tape on those threads. I'm sure it's fine. We're all hooked back up, and do we have good fuel flow? No. Why are we leaking out of that side? Give that a minute to fill. I know there's fuel at the carburetor because that fitting is leaking now. And it's already been rounded off for me, so I've got to use vice grips on it. Okay. Now we're ready. Let's see if this thing will finally run. Mind you, it's also 15 degrees here right now. This is absolutely terrible. All right. Choke, throttle. To have the key on. I might have just like really flooded it. That or the needle stick on float. Try, huh? Feel that brand new solenoid? I'm back. I pulled the carburetor back off to see what's going on here. And as you can see, the bowl is completely dry. So that would imply there was absolutely no fuel getting into the carburetor. And the only thing preventing that, now I know that that line is not plugged. Got to be the needle and seat. So let me pull this back out and see if I can find what's going on here. I can tell you for a fact that this passageway is clear between the fuel inlet and the needle, or well, the seat, I guess, and the needle. And I just blew through it again to make sure, and gently held the needle up to block it, and moved it up and down, blew through it, whatever. It's clear. That brings me to the reason why I always cuss at these newer needles that come with these rebuilds. Seems like every old carburetor rebuild kit you find comes with these rubber tipped needles. That's just how it is now. You can't find solid brass needles like they were originally. And the reason I hate those is because they get stuck in the seat. They're prone to that. Like if I gently put that needle in that seat like that, look, stuck. Okay? That's... I don't like that. And you could say, well, a brand new one, isn't going to stick that easily. Well, it might not, but these just, in my experience, all these everybody's opinion is based on their own experience. In my experiences, these rubber tipped needles seem to stick fairly often, new or not. There was a rebuild kit on the wall when I went and bought the points and the fuel bowl. Of course, I was in the tractor section at a farm store. Me being the dumbass that I am, I didn't grab the kit for this carburetor. They had one on the shelf. I thought, oh, you don't need that. Probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to rebuild it, but everything seemed fine. This is the new and improved fuel line setup. That fitting that screwed into the side of the carburetor may or may not have gotten destroyed. I don't know who would have done that. So found another one, of course, different size than what the fitting was on this line. So I got a hose barb and stuck it in there, and then just cut the end of that line off. It's fine. That all leaked anyway, so maybe it won't leak now. Let me turn the fuel on. Now, if this is working, I should get fuel running out of the bowl of the carburetor because I took the drain out of it. Of course, well, it's dripping some. It's not nearly enough coming through there though. There, that's a better stream. Go figure, I had to beat on the carburetor because the needle was stuck. I'm gonna put this plug back in the bottom of the bowl, see if this is good enough to run. Okay, will it start? Oh, hang on. Let me hook the choke and the throttle back up. Hey, that's more promising. Come on. idled right down. Listen to it. Thing's nice and quiet. Making great oil pressure, which I'm going to run it a little bit and change the oil. It's great. Oh, the solenoid fixed itself. That bracket's fine. I mean, it's a tractor, come on. Awesome. Makes me so happy. It's just sitting there, just idling away. It's been running for a couple minutes. Gave everything time to kind of warm up. Now I'm gonna drain the oil. It is a very large drain plug. It's gonna take a larger than average crescent wrench to get this loose. Come on. There it comes. Really doesn't look bad. It's dirty. I like how there's a little screen there. That's cool. Good enough. Now the filter. That's what this little canister right here is, the oil filter. Back when canister filters were good. Now they're those cheap plastic stupid ones. Absolutely nothing wrong with a canister style filter. I like them actually. This kind, the old style. They'll come off there. Yep, got a little handle on there. Oh no. There, got it out. Then you just take the filter, slide it in, maybe, hopefully, there. Oh, cool. Destroy the rubber O-ring thing. There. Cool. Now I'll throw oil in it. How much does one of these hold? Like 5 quarts maybe? 4? Guess we'll find out. Oh, does it say on there? No. I'm gonna put my favorite kind of oil in it, which is just Rotella 1540. I should also change the hydraulic oil, but it's so cold right now that any water that's in the pan is going to be ice, so I wouldn't be able to get it out anyway. I don't need the hydraulics right now, so the solution is just going to be don't use them until it's warmer out, and then I will change the oil in the rear end. Hopefully the hydraulics work. The very last thing was fill the oil canister for the oil bath air cleaner. Now, I want to use this thing. I've actually got several jobs I need to use it for around this place. Let's go outside. Yes, I will grease and lube everything, but I can do that later. It's got to come back in here anyway when I put headlights on it. Well, it's doing okay. It made it here and died. I was running full throttle around the yard and still having some issues. That needle sticking, that float, making it act like it's starving for fuel, which it is when it does that. So I had to beat on that carburetor again. But let's take it around the yard. I'll show you what I need to do with it. All the gears work just fine too, which is nice. Oh yeah, I like the pile of trash. I just finished renovating my porch. That was the last room in the house that needed done. So this happened last night in all the high winds. So let me get a chain, and I'm probably gonna have to cut this up. I don't think the tractor is gonna be able to drag that main piece, but who knows, it might. I kind of doubt it, but I can at least get some of the smaller stuff dragged back to the brush pile. Drag it back here. It's impressive. I'll go drop this off back here and then I'll go get the rest. This little bastard's fast too. Can't give it any throttle. Not getting enough fuel in the bowl. All I have is this. This thing's gonna get a different carburetor, I think. Come on. As you can see, it runs and drives, does what it's supposed to. I need to either actually replace that needle and seat on that carb or just find a different carburetor. They're cheap and easy to find, but few little things to do to it still. As you can see, it already does more than I expected it to. I thought there was no way in hell it was going to drag that great big tree back there. But it did. And I've still got more cleanup to do. Need to finish dragging these trees out of here, well, these limbs now, and move a bunch of cars around. So that's going to do it for the video on the 8N. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Catch you on the next one.